So today's lesson is crossing the Jordan, but we're only going to do half of chapter 3 because there's so much stuff crammed in it. So we're just going to read Joshua 3, 1 through, let's go just 1 through 6, and we'll finish it up tomorrow. So Joshua 3, 1 through 6, and go ahead and read that now. Pause me. Okay. So we're crossing the Jordan here, and so this is after the spies get up, come back and say, oh, the Lord is going to give us this land. It's going to be great. We have such faith. And so early in the morning, and it doesn't say this is the next morning, but the next day, they went to the Jordan where they camped before crossing over. Now, you got to remember this is close, probably 2 million people, because some of the women and children were staying behind from those tribes that had decided to stay on the west side, and God had allowed them to stay on the east side of the Jordan. So they camped, and after 3 days of camping, the officers went through the camp, and these are, I don't know who they are, but obviously they had some authority, because they said, here's the story: when you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God and the priests, who are the Levites, carrying it, you're going to move out and follow it, and you're going to, because the cloud is not with us anymore. The cloud of fire that carried them through the desert is gone. And so now it's the Ark of the Covenant. And this, because you don't know where you're going, but the Ark of the Covenant does. So the Ark of the Covenant is going to go in front of you, but you got to keep a distance of about 1,000 yards, which is just over half a mile. It's actually 0.57 miles. So those of you who are runners know exactly how far that is. And sometimes you might think, well, it's really hard to see, but they're on that river plain, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. Anyway, so we're talking crossing over, and crossing over a river is of biblical significance because Noah crossed over some pretty big waters. Abraham crossed over the waters of the Euphrates or the Tigris to leave his country, and then of course Moses crossed over the Red Sea. So this is another crossing. This is something that God is a principle that God likes. That is throughout the Bible. This crossing over water. Crossing over water. So Joshua told the people, consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things on you. This consecration thing was big. If you'll look in Exodus 19:10 through 15, if you're interested, it talks about Moses telling the people to consecrate themselves. This basically means purify yourselves, get away from evil. You can't touch anything worldly. There's this whole separation thing, separating the holy from the not holy or the common. So there's lots of rules to it, but you're basically supposed to purify yourselves. And it doesn't really say that they did a lot of sacrificing, but in the through Leviticus, it talks about sacrificing to purify themselves also. So I don't know that they did or didn't do that. And then Joshua said to the priests, take up the Ark of the Covenant, pass ahead of the people. So they took it up and went ahead of them. We'll pick up there tomorrow.